an introduction or a basic foundation. Okay? So kumukuha lang ako ng mga details or ng mga link on the internet to provide you details on this one. And then ang mangyayari lang naman yan guys is more on more on it's more on giving you a basic foundation what is algorithm. So before we move on with the complexity, doon muna tayo sa madali para lahat nakaka-relate at makakasabay. Okay? Can anyone confirm na nakikita na screen ko?
Clear po, sir. Clear.
Kita po, sir.
Kita.
Okay. Sige. So, let us close the topic for the attendance or those people officially listed. So, doon sa mga wala sa master list, okay lang yan kasi your COE will be your basis that you are an official student for this class. Okay? Pero yung habol ko lang is provide sa akin yung buong master list. Kasi yung master list din na yun yung pagbabasihan ko at the end of each SEM para i-provide kung sino yung mga nakapasa, kung may babagsak, or sino yung mga nakadrop. Okay? Alright. So, let us discuss the algorithm. So, technically, I told you earlier that let's start or have some advanced study when it comes to algorithm. So, the question right now is, what is algorithm, guys? Based sa mga nabasa natin, or doon sa mga nagbasa rather. May nagbasa nga ba? Anyone? Yes, Puentes.
Sir, rinod ko lang mic ko. Ito po, sir, based po sa na-research ko po, sir, kanina lang. Algorithm is a systematic procedure that produces in a finite number or steps the answer to a question or the solution of a problem. The name derives from the Latin translation po.
Okay.
Po, yun.
Sige. So from the definition itself, from the definition itself, we have two keywords na pwedeng ilagay. So one is procedure and steps. So these are the two keywords na pwede natin ilagay when it comes to algorithm. Any other definition or things na nabasa natin?
Ako po, sir.
Go ahead, Ferolino. Okay? So another keyword. So we have the steps, we have the procedure. Yung kay Ferolino naman is more on ano sabi doon? Sorry, nakalimutan ko. Paulit, Ferolino. Yep. Okay, thank you. So technically, yung kay Ferolino, the keyword is input together with rules. So we have the steps, the procedure, the inputs, and rules. So, good for that one. Rivera, go ahead.
Is a set of instruction for solving logical and mathematical problems or for accomplishing some other task. Yan po, sir.
Okay, keyword instruction. Okay? Next, Osorio.
It refers to a set of rules, instructions that step-by-step define how a work is to be executed upon in order to get the expected results.
Okay, so there's always a keyword rules for the execution. Next one, Giancarlo.
Sir,
Sorry, ang dami pa. May Giancarlo Rivera.
Katapos ka lang po, sir.
Katapos na. Okay. Next one, Magalen. Julian.
Based din po sa nabasa ko po, sir, is an algorithm includes of calculations and reasoning and data processing.
Paulit?
An algorithm is an includes of calculations and reasoning and data processing po, sir.
Okay? More on calculation and reasoning. Make sense? Next one, De La Cruz, Elika.
Sir, an algorithm is a procedure or formula for solving a problem.
Okay? Same keyword, the procedure. Eman? Eman, Salgado.
Yes, sir. Wait lang. Based on my research there, uh, algorithm is many characteristic po, sir. Like input, output, definiteness, finiteness, and effectiveness. Then definiteness is instruction must be clear and realistic, sir. And then lastly, sir, effectiveness, instructions must be efficient and unuseful, sir. Yun lang po, sir.
Okay? So, if you will observe, there's a lot of definition. Okay? When it comes to algorithm. And marami pang gustong sumagot, no? But eventually, the point is, there is no concrete definition if what is algorithm. Sige, discuss natin. So, kung nakikita natin, ang sabi sa deck is a program must be systematically and properly designed before coding begins. This design process results in the construction of an algorithm. What does it mean? Two things lang yan, guys. One is that we are using the algo before we code. We are thinking for the logic and how we can execute it before we go in coding. So this is most important part na maintindihan natin or ma-appreciate natin what is algorithm, what is algo all about. So that moving forward, if we are more on implementing it on a code or even in our day-to-day life, technically, we can implement this thing called algorithm. Ulitin ko, algorithm can be implemented in either practical, technical, or even spiritual. Okay? So all aspect of life, algorithm can be implemented. That's one thing for sure. Kung saan, ang gagawin lang naman natin, yung kaso algorithm, may tatlo akong chart, may kita nyo. Define the problem, ano ba yung problema, i-design natin yung solution or mag-recommend tayo yung solution, and then work on that solution. So ganun ang konsepto, ganun ang konsepto niyan. Okay? Para siyang para siya ngayon na parang computer. So what is the process inside the computer? Anyone? What's the process inside the computer? Doon sa mga nag-i-strad ng ICT before. What's the process? Sorry? That's not the parts. I'm talking about process. Hindi man tayo magdi-discuss ng parts dito, guys. Since we are more on algo, the logic behind that computer. Okay.
Ako po.
Sir, yung flowchart
Sorry?
po, sir.
Flowchart. Flowchart is, we can discuss the flowchart moving forward. But eventually, when we say process, I'm talking about a process flow. So, do you know the IPO in computer? Hindi yan si IPO Makunochi,
Programming.
ha? IPO. Kilala nyo ba si IPO? IPO?
Sir, ako po.
Output po, sir.
Go ahead,
Sir.
Jan Miro.
Input, process, output.
Yes. So technically, kay algorithm, lagi nating tatandaan na there should always be an IPO. Okay? Ano yung input, paano natin ipaprocess, at the same time, paano natin i-display or magkakaroon ng output. So input could be, sige, balik tayo sa introduction to IT, no, or introduction to computer. Hindi ko alam kung may subject kayo ngayon yon. Okay? Pag sabi mo intro, technically, we go with the IPO, the input. So kapag input, ano ba yan? Ano ba yung mga input devices natin sa computer?
Keyboard.
The keyboard, the primarily keyboard. We could also have a headset with mic,
Mouse po.
Monitor.
mouse,
Scanner. Scanner.
Monitor.
scanner,
Honor.
So technically, that is an input. How about process?
Yung mga ano po, sir. Yung mga MS.
It could be a
Documents po.
software in the form of MSOPs.
Desktop.
Okay? Ano
Application.
pa?
CPU,
Websites.
Application.
Website?
motherboard,
Okay. Motherboard is
OS
not
po.
part of the process since that is a
Cellphone.
component. So,
Desktop po, sir.
technically, sorry, go ahead. Okay. So, technically, when we say process, kung may input ka ng keyboard or ng mic, katulad ko na nagsasalita, the one that mediating to ensure that there will be an output na maririnig nyo based sa klasiko, ano yung pinaka common pag nasa desktop kayo o nasa laptop nyo kayo, who is the processor mediating between the input or the end user and the output, which will be you?
Internet, sir.
Internet is a technology on it. So when you say intermediate or a mediator between the input and the output, the most common is the operating system. Narinig na ba what is operating system? What's
Yes po.
OS?
Yung
Yes, sir.
Windows.
Yung Windows.
Processes po. Process.
Sorry?
OS.
Narinig na, di ba? So ngayon, ano ba tong OS na to? What are the example of OS? We can have Windows 10, o kapag Microsoft yung product mo, di ba? You can have the Windows 10, Windows 7, kung naabutan niyo yung XP, kung panahon pa kayo ni Mahoma, which is Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, those are example of Microsoft product which is an operating system. O tanggalin natin sa computer, ilapat natin sa cellphone. We have the Android which has a lot of version. We have the iOS or anything.
Linux, sir.
Sir Linux.
Okay, pwede rin namang pagdating ng ibang OS, we can also have a Linux. 'Di ba? So those are the type of operating system. Ano yung ginagawa ng operating system? Converting whatever your input into an output. In a high-level definition, that process covers algorithm. Okay? May input, may process. Ano naman yung output? The output could be in the form of, okay? Output can be in the form of display. Ano ba yung pwede mag-display sa'yo? It could be a printer or typical na monitor mo. So,
Printer, sir.
in short, yung ipon na yan o yung konsepto ng ipon ng computer na yan, yan yung ginagawa ng algo. Kaso sa algorithm, we do it manually. Paano mo mapapalabas ang isang lohika o isang konsepto na gusto mo or tinrigger ng input or ng end user to ensure na may lalabas na output. Sige. Let's move ahead. Okay? So, at the end of this chapter, you will be able to describe the elements of algorithm, which we are talking right now. The SDLC, medyo matagal pa. Represent an algorithm using pseudocode and flowchart. So technically, ganito yan ha, ganito yung konsepto natin. If someone asks you to create an algorithm, pwede mong sabihin na the algorithm that that I will be created could be a pseudocode or a flowchart. So these are the two common algorithm. But normally, kapag sinabi kong create an algorithm, the one that I am referring with is a pseudocode. Ano yung kinaibahan ng pseudocode sa flowchart? Yung pseudocode is more on wordings. Okay? Kapag flowchart, it's more on chart or a shape, which is identifying these two things. So technically, the pseudocode and flowchart, yan yung pag-uusapan natin as a foundation of algorithm before tayo mag-midterm. Okay? Then after midterm, we will go with the complexity. Ito. Go ahead. Yes, it is. Magagamit natin. Malalaman nyo kung paano siya ginagamit later. Okay? Let's go with algorithm. There is no general definition of algorithm. So meaning to say, lahat ng pinadefine ko sa inyo kanina, it's accepted. I'm just only getting the keywords because those keywords will be used for this item. So we can say that algorithm is a step-by-step problem-solving procedure. So the keyword itself is step-by-step. Okay? Next, a sequence of instruction that tell how to solve a particular problem. Okay? Next, a set of instruction for solving problem, especially on a computer. Keyword, instruction. And then the last one, a computable set of steps, computation or computable, and then steps again to achieve a desired result. Ito yung i-discuss natin. However, most agree that algorithm has something to do with the defining generalized process to get output from input. So, kailangan mo si process sa gitna para yung input mo is magkaroon ng output. So, therefore, we can conclude that algorithm, a step-by-step problem solving process in which a solution is arrived in a finite amount of time, or algorithm is a finite list of sequential steps specifying action that it perform result in solution of a specific problem. Okay, these are the conclusion, but as I say, but I'm saying earlier, walang concrete or finite definition for algorithm. We are just highlighting the keyword for you to understand that algorithm is a preface. When you say a preface, you can create your own platform, you can create your own perspective. What is algorithm with due respect to the keywords na ibinibigay natin. So, before we go with algorithm and logical thinking, let's have some example of what is algorithm. Medyo curious na ako dyan. Ano ba yung algorithm na yan, guys? Okay. Give me an example, or sige, lahat naman tayo, even yung rich kids sa inyo, feeling ko naman, marunong magsaing. Nakuha? Sige. Give me an instruction on how to cook rice. Anyone sa mga masisipag dito?
Ako, sir.
Sige, go ahead, Ella.
Sir Elika po.
Laika pala. Sorry, go ahead.
Ano, sir? First,
Step 1.
step 1, kumuha ng kaserola.
Kaserola, okay.
Ano ba tawag yun? Kaserola ba yun? Step 2,
Parang nagpaisip ka, kaserola ba talaga ako doon? Okay, sige. O kaldero, dapat ang pinakamahat. Ang right term is kaldero, right?
Caldero, sir. Sorry na.
Okay. Napaghahalataan. Pero sige lang, Gora Bells.
Step
Step
2,
2,
hugasan ang kaldero.
hugasan ng kaldero.
Step 3, magtakal ng bigas at isalin ito sa kaldero. Ay, sa
Okay.
kaserola.
Okay.
Then, step 4, hugasan ang bigas na nakasalin sa kaserola.
Okay.
5, ilagay na ang kaserola sa kalan at buksan ang kalan. Then,
Okay.
yun na po. Step 6, hintayin kumulo ang sinaing at hinaan ng kaunti ang apoy. Then, step 7, luto na yung kanin. Pwede nang patayin po ang
Okay.
ang kalan.
So that is a typical instruction, okay, when it comes to algorithm. So technically, naglalagay lang tayo ng instruction or gumagawa tayo ng set of instruction or step by step just to be sure that we have a common goal. Okay? Ano yung mali sa ginawa niya? Kung titingnan nyo, tama naman yung instruction niya, Pero ano yung kulang sa steps niya? Nang nilagay niya yung hinugasan niyang tubig sa kasirola at nilagay sa kalan, hindi niya sinabing takalan ng tubig or lagyan ng tubig na magpapakulo sa bigas. Tama?
Yes po.
Tama, sir.
Okay. Okay. Sige. That's the first perspective, no? Yan yung perspective ni Ilaika kung saan unang step niya is nag-prepare siya ng kasirola or kaldero that will be used for cooking a rice. Any other na magbibigay ng algorithm sa pagsasaing? Anyone?
Ako po, sir. Try ko po.
Sige, go ahead for Tony.
Ganito po, sir. Step 1 po is kumuha po ng kaldero, tapos hugasan ng maigi, sir. Tapos step 2 po, magtakal po ng bigas kung ano pong gusto nyo. And then step 3 po, hugasan po yung bigas ng dalawang beses po. And then itapon po yung tubig na pinaghugasan ng bigas. Step 4 po lagyan po ng tubig ayon sa sukat ng ilan na tinakal nyo pong bigas. And then step 5 po, sir. Kapag may rice cooker po, doon nyo na po ilagay. Step 6, sir, pindutin po yung turn on and then hintayin automatically mainit po, sir. Ayun po, sir.
Mainit talaga o maluto na lang, no? Sige. Okay? Almost the instruction of Ilaika and for Tony is the same. Any other steps or any other algorithm sa pagsasaing?
Martinez.
Go ahead, Julius.
Sir, kumuha po ng kaldero, tapos huhugasan po. Tapos, pagtatakal po
Same
ng
lang din
bigas.
ang concept, right?
Yes.
Na naghanda ng kaldero.
Magtatakal po ng bigas, ayon po sa dami ng tao na kakain. Or
Okay.
sopa. Tapos po, huhugasan po ng 2 beses. Pagkatapos po hugasan ng 2 beses, lalagyan po ulit ng tubig, tapos tatakalin po gamit ang daliri.
Okay.
Tapos po, pag okay na ho yung takal ng tubig, isa lang po sa rice cooker at antay po itong maluto.
Mhm.
Tapos, ihanda po yung kanin. Yun po.
Tapos ikaw na yung ulam. Charot. O, pwede yun, di ba? Ganong konsepto. Pero, may iba pa ba sa inyong very creative kung paano mag-create ng algorithm based sa pagsasaing ng bigas?
Ako po, sir.
Sige, go ahead, Neil.
Sir, yung first step ko, sir, kumuha ng bigas, lagay sa salaan, hugasan, tapos kumuha ng kaldero, ilagay dun yung hinugasan na bigas, tapos maglagay ng tubig na naaayon sa dami, kung gaano karami yung bigas.
Okay.
Tapos ilagay sa rice cooker, hintayin maluto. Yan lang, sir.
Okay. So pare-parehas yung end goal, kanin, no? Nagkakatalo lang yan is yung sa mga unang instruction. Right? Any other? Who could try?
Sir, ako po, sir.
Go ahead, Eman.
Sir, kapag wala kayong bigas, sir, sa bahay niyo, bumili muna kayo.
O, di ba? Gandang perspective. That another point, checking if may bigas kayo o wala. Yun talaga yung unang step eh. Di ba? Sa iba, lalo na sa mga hampas lupang katulad natin, nasa laylayan ng mundo. Di ba? Ang nangyayari, tagang kailangan mo i-check kung may bigas ka o wala. That's another concept of algorithm. Considering kung saan ka magsisimula. But as I said, walang finite decision or definition ng algorithm. Ay, may sound trip. Okay? It's more on how you will define your algorithm. So yung lahat, yung common kanina, is mag-prepare ng kaldero. The other part is mag-prepare ng bigas na isasala. O this time naman, ang perspective niya is checking if may bigas kayo or wala. Continue, Eman.
Sir, kapag nakabili na kayo ng bigas, sir, then kumuha po kayo ng kaldero, tapos hugasan nyo ng mabuti. Kasi may tira-tira pa yun. Baka mapanis lang yung sinaing nyo. Then kapag nahugasan nyo na po ng mabuti, at wala na po yung kanin sa loob ng kaldero, lagay nyo na po yung bigas. Then hugasan nyo po ng 2 beses kasi required po yun kasi 2 beses po. Then kapag naugasan nyo na po, tapon nyo po yung pangalawang hugas na bigas nyo. Then kapag naglagay ulit kayo ng tubig hanggang sa ilalaki niya po sir sa may isang guwit, unang guwit po nang ilalaki. Kasi po pagka sumobra po yung dami ng bigas, magiging lata po.
Okay?
Yun, tapos sir, kapag nasukat nyo na po sir, tapos okay na po sir, kapag may rice cooker o kalan kayo sir, kung mayaman man kayo sir, or pampaslupa man, rice cooker na pala lang sir. Ilagay niyo po doon. Ilagay niyo po
Okay?
sa rice cooker. Then kapag isasaksak niyo po yung para po maluto yung bigas. Kapag okay na sir, kapag nasa warm na sir, okay na po yun sir, pwede nang kainin. Then
Okay.
salamat.
Sige. Alright. So kung titingnan natin, there's a lot, no? There's a lot of approach or strategy on how to create an algorithm. I just want also to do disclaimer, no? Na my wording is not, I'm not referring to people, which is when I say ampas lupa, hindi ko kayo nilalight, no? It's more on me giving you at concept, ano yung ampas lupa sa mga sosyal. Something like that. Baka may iba sa inyo mga sensitibo when it comes to the wordings. So, disclaimer lang yan. Okay? So, going back to the topic of algorithm, kung papansinin natin, maraming perspektibo. Bigyan ko pa kayo ng ibang perspective. Ano pa ba yung unang perspective? Step 1, tingnan kung mayroon kayong sinaing or kanin pa. So I'm talking about yung mga bahaw. Di ba? Kasi, bakit kayo magsasaing kung may kanin pa kayo? Nakuha yung logic?
Opo.
Yes, sir. Yes po.
Di ba? Yun yung konsepto. So kung titingnan mo, from there, mapapaisip mo, marami palang views when it comes to algorithm. Kasi si algorithm, ang isa sa mga definition is a step-by-step instruction. A step-by-step procedure which goal is to have an output. Nakuha? Nakakasabay ba?
Opo, sir.
Yes po.
Okay,
Yes,
sige,
po.
para lahat makarelate. Let's have an algorithm
sir.
kapag may crush kayo na gusto nyo maging jowa. So, how can you create an algorithm on that one?
Suko agad may
Either
jowa na.
babae or lalaki. Go ahead.
Sir, ano nga
Ako
sir,
po,
tanong?
try ko po.
Ako, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Dayan.
Po, sabi ko po, suko na may jowa na
Okay,
Ako na lang, sir.
Go ahead, Bertoni again.
Eto, sir. Nakuha ko lang to sa TikTok, sir. Eto.
Okay,
Florowax
fine.
ka ba, sir?
Sorry?
Florowax ka ba, sir?
Kasi,
I love you, sir.
ngit, iba ang algorithm sa mga pick-up point o mga pick-up natin. Utang na loob. Okay? Kalo ko naman sa TikTok yung
Sorry, sir. Nadulas po ako, sir. Sorry.
Okay? Medyo wale. Hindi ko alam kung habing ba yan o wale. But eventually, anyone?
Ako, sir.
Go ahead, Louie. Go ahead.
Siyempre, pag gusto mo yung babae, titignan mo muna sarili mo kung pogi ka.
Okay?
Kasi sa panahon ngayon, sir, pogi na lang hanap nila eh.
May hugot ba tayo? Di ba lahat nakaka-relate? Kasi,
Ay, di naman.
Ako, sir.
di ba may nag-react? So technically guys, okay. Sige. Bakit ko binibigay na example yung mga bagay na yan? Technically, kasi I want you to understand the rationale behind the example ibinibigay ko sa inyo. Pagsasaing ng bigas is more on, ito yung typical na ginagawa natin sa loob ng bahay. Either rich kid ka man, or inuutusan ka talaga ng magulang mo, or meron talaga kayong kasambahay, yung katulong na gumagawa nito. Technically, na-observe nyo. Okay? So, it runs on your daily routine. Next, paghahanap ng jowa. Sa paghahanap ng jowa, ang una mo nang titingnan is, jowable ka ba? Di ba yun yung mga iniisip mo kasi sabi mo kailangan pogi ka. So that's one of the perspectives. The another one is maghanap ka muna ng jowa. So yung ibang babae, kung gusto nila maghanap, naririnig natin yung keyword na standards. So those standards are a prerequisite para magkaroon ng jowa. So kung titingnan natin in straightforward perspective or in straightforward logic, ano yung gusto natin ilabas? Ang gusto natin, magkaroon ng goal which is magka-jowa, pero hindi lahat may jowa. Bakit? Kasi pwedeng yung iba is naghihintay, that's one, o parehas naghihintay hanggang sa maging tanga forever, or meron din mga wordings kung saan ang logic is that ayaw pa ng magulang or it's not about time because I have a goals. So that is part of the perspective of the algorithm. So in short, algorithm is some sort of item that can be implemented either on your daily life, either on your emotional perspective, or even in academe. Okay, when it comes to academe, ibabalik na natin yung klase natin sa academe o sa academia. Bakit ko nire-relate lang yan in our daily life? Simply because for you to understand at magets natin, ganito pala kasimple gumawa ng algorithm. Napakadali lang. Pero ang pagkakamali kasi ng mga nasa higher year, nagagawa nila yung logic or nagagawa nila yung code without realizing kung yung code na ginagawa ba nila is tama or mali. Kasi hindi sila nag-aalgo. Hindi sila nag-iisip muna or nagpa-plan out paano yung set by set or step by step instruction na gagawin ko to ensure na yung program na ginagawa ko, once I compile it, tumpak, eksakto, at tama. Nagets ba?
Yes po.
Yes, sir.
Yes po, sir.
Okay?
Question po,
Yes po.
sir. So,
Sige, question Angel. Ay, Angel talaga,
may
nagayang Angel pala. Okay, go ahead, Moral.
may tama at mali po sa algorithm instead na
Yes.
nagtatanong po siya kung parang sa akin po kasi trial and error yung algorithm. Merong yes or no
Okay.
para mag-flow, ganun po.
Sige. Ano ba yung kinaibahan ng algorithm? No? Medyo advanced yung tanong ni Dayan. Meron bang checker? May checker yan kasi yung perspective mo is yung sarili mo. Ibig sabihin, manually mo kinocompile yan. Except doon sa mga program na may sariling compiler na sila, di ba, mga programming language natin, they have their own compiler. When say compiler, yung nag-run or nag-execute to ensure, determine if yung code na ginagawa mo is tama or mali. Ngayon, sa algorithm, manual yan. Tama ba yung step by step na nagawa ko? Ikaw rin na magsasabi in the end kung tama o mali yung ginawa mo. Pero, ang kagandahan doon is nailatag mo yung steps, nailatag mo yung logic na kailangan mo para maagawa or para magawa or in preparation for the code na gusto mo. So to answer your question, ikaw rin magsasabi kung tama or mali yung algo na nagawa mo. Did I answer your question, Dayan?
Opo. Ang nagets ko po siya na tama yung pagka-flow para po ma-execute, ganun po, di ba?
Yep. That's the real concept.
Okay.
But eventually, doon ka pa rin sa dilemma na yung nagawa ko bang flow, tama ba to o mali? So you can double check it. Ang pinakamaganda doon, try to ask someone to read and ensure na nag-gets niya yung instruction. Pag nag-get niya yung instruction, that is the most effective thing para magawa yan. And that's the reason kung bakit tayo nag-algo. The moment na mag-create ka ng algorithm, okay? The moment na mag-create ka ng algorithm, let the other colleagues or peers check or read your algorithm. In that way, malalaman mo na sa perspective mo, kala mo perfect yung algorithm mo, right? But on the other side, sa magbabasa is something na, ay may mali pala. May kulang pala. So ibalik natin sa logic. So kunwari, feeling mo, may GF ka, may jowa ka, ibinigay mo na lahat sa kanya pero iniwan ka pa rin niya. Kasi yun yung perspective, no? Minahal mo siya, at the same time, ibinigay mo lahat-lahat pero iniwan ka niya. Pero sa side ng jowa mo, either ng BF mo or GF mo, natanong mo ba kung bakit kanya iniwan? That's another story. Okay? That's another perspective. And ganun din sa tanong mo kanina, Dayan, na kung tama o mali ba yung ginawa mo, you can have that one with peer review or with the other reading your algorithm. Okay? Nakuha ba yun, guys? Malinaw ba?
Yes po, yes po.
Nakasabay ba? May naguguluhan o yung tumatak lang sa inyo paano magka-jowa?
Yes, sir.
Okay? I'll stop my sharing. Okay? Kasi algorithm logical thinking will be discussed the next time. All right? So, let me
Yes
have
po.
some example of algorithm para maintindihan natin. Okay? At para ako biglang namaos. Sige lang. Parang actually pang-apat kayo sa klase ko na tinuturuan ko ng algorithm, no? Labo. And natutuwa lang ako magklase guys ngayon for a simple reason that this is my first time na nagturo ko ulit ng first year. Okay, nakikita ulit screen ko?
Opo, sir.
Okay.
Opo, sir.
So, for example, sinabi ko sa inyo, I want you to create an algorithm that will enter two numbers and you should display the sum. Okay? So, paano yan? Paano ginagawa yan, guys? O, pa-screenshot after ng ano, guys, ha? Pa-screenshot ng after bawat slide, ha? Para at least may sample kayo. Ito yung first approach. Step 1, start. Okay? Step 2, enter first number. Okay? Third step, enter second number. Fourth step, add first and second number. Fifth, display the sum. 6, end. Okay? There's always a start and end in every flowchart or in every algorithm, should I say. So, with my problem, enter two numbers and display the sum. Okay? Nagawa ba siya ng algorithm natin?
Yes, sir.
Yes po. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, this is a typical example of algorithm. But, we can also have some creativity on this matter. Paano naman yan? Okay? Pwedeng enter first and second number. This is the second type. Hope, mali. Na-screenshot nyo ba just in case? Yung first?
Opo,
First
sir.
example?
Opo, sir.
Sige. Yung pwedeng approach naman, pwedeng ganito rin. Enter first and second number.
Number. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
di ba?
Opo,
Tapos,
sir.
tanggalin lang isa. Add first and second number. Display the sum. End.
Opo, opo, sir.
Di ba? Tama pa rin ba yung instruction ko?
Yes, sir. Tama.
Oh, kung
Yes po, sir.
papansinin natin, there's no finite definition talaga. Okay, another approach. Okay, another approach. Pwedeng enter first number, call it A. Okay? Enter second number, call it B. Okay? Tapos, ano kasunod? Sum is equal to A plus B. Nakuha pa rin ba natin yung logic?
Opo,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So, sa ganitong konsepto, yung first number, nilalagyan mo siya ng variables. When you say variables, we are personalizing, we are containering, or should I say, ang pinakamadali dyan, you are calling it on a nickname base. So, yung first number, tatawagin ko siyang A. Yung second number, tatawagin ko siyang B. Para mas madali yung logic ko, wherein si Sam is equal kay A plus B, at i-display ko si Sam. Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of algorithm, but the end goal is to display the sum on how you do the arithmetic operations. Nakuha ba, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, let's have another one. Enter two numbers and determine which is bigger. Okay? Ano yung which is bigger? Kung sino mas malaki doon sa two numbers na ginawa natin. Anyone who can volunteer? Try nga natin. May makaisip ng algorithm, create an algorithm for the two numbers. Mag-input tayo ng two numbers and display which is bigger or determine which is bigger.
Sir, pwede po magtanong, yung greater than po ba, sir, or less than po yung question dyan, sir?
Pwede.
Thank you, sir.
Kasi hindi mo na ma-identify kung sino mas malaki sa dalawa kung hindi mo nagigets eh. Okay. Anyone? Sige. Ito yung pinakamadali. Sige, ako muna una para mas madali na lang. So, enter first number. Lagatin ng agad. Call it A. Okay? Enter second number. Call it B. Umpaya tayo. Tapos, yan yung input mo, guys, di ba? May input ka. Naintindihan? Nakuha ba? May input na ako rito, di ba? So, lagyan natin ngayon ng process o ng logic. Pwede tayo mag-condition. If A is greater than B, display A is bigger. A is bigger than B. If B is greater than A, ay,
Sir, programming related po.
okay. Yep. Logic na to. Okay. Kung papansinin natin sa algorithm, anong nangyari? Start, enter first number, call it A. Enter second number, call it B. If A is greater than B, display mo A is bigger than B. If yung B is greater than A, display mo B is bigger than A. Nasupis natin? Or based on the algorithm, okay ba yung ginawa natin sa problem na to?
Yes, sir. Hindi pa po na.
Yes po, sir.
Kung sino yung
Okay. Sige. Another approach. Pwedeng ganyan. O kaya, lagyan natin ganito.
Pwede, sir, yung if else sa ano, sir?
Okay? Next approach. Nakuha yung konsepto kung saan gumawa ka ng logic na kapag yung A is mas malaki sa B, i-display ko A is bigger than B. Nilagyan ko lang ng else. Yung else na to na structure could be something like kung hindi malaki yung A sa B, i-display ko na agad B is bigger than A. Yung kabaliktaran. Nakuha yung logic?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Ano pa?
Ibig sabihin, sir, mas malaki yung B.
Oo, kapag hindi, malamang, yung kabaliktaran, kapag hindi mas malaki yung A sa B, malamang mas malaki yung B sa A. So
Okay,
gumamit
sir.
ako ng keyword or structure per logic, if else.
Okay, sir.
Nakuha na lahat, guys? Okay, sige. I'll stop my sharing. Okay. Anyone who can share their screen for the next sample. Okay? Ano to, Miko? Sorry, hindi ko na-gets.
Isa ano po yan, sir. Yung parang ano, yung parang if A is greater than B, tapos magtatanong siya, tapos may dalawang colon sa gitna, which is yung una pang true, tapos yung B pang false.
Sige. Medyo nagkakaroon tayo siguro ng confusion, no? The way we interpret or the way we show the algorithm. But technically, the algorithm is something like naiintindihan mo. Or habang binabasa mo, naiintindihan mo kung ano yung instruction. If I am not an IT practitioner, this thing is not understandable. If A is greater than B, may question mark, A is bigger, colon B is bigger. Most probably, this concept or this line can be something like a structure that other programming language like .NET or something like a higher programming language can identify. But if you're a beginner or no idea when it comes to programming, technically, hindi mo maintindihan yung code mo or hindi mo maintindihan yung algorithm mo. So you should be something like a descriptive. Okay?
Sorry, sir, sinubukan ko lang pwede.
Okay? Sige. So, technically, in algorithm, hindi yan acceptable on the sense na hindi ko nagigets kung ano yung gusto mangyari niya. Ganun kasimple. Alright?
Okay po, sir.
Sige. Anyone who can create an algorithm wherein I will input my age, okay, and determine if it is a minor or a legal age. Anyone?
Ano nga ulit yun, sir?
Okay? Create an algorithm that will input an age and determine if age is minor or legal age.
Sir, ako po.
Go ahead, Dayan.
Start
Can you share your
number
screen
1
so that your classmate?
po.
Pwede mo bang i-share yung screen mo?
Sige po, wait po.
Para at least nagigets ng mga people, ng madlang people, how we do this one. Parang ang bilis ng oras, no? Mag-alas stress na agad. Okay?
Opo, sir.
Kung magturo o ako lang nalilibang at kayo ay parang inaantok na at siesta time?
Kita po ba?
Loading. Okay, go ahead. Good job, At least kahit phone yan, you tried to do that one. Go ahead, Dayan.
Opo. Una po start, tapos po enter ng age. Tapos number 3. If pwedeng nating tawagin siya and call it age.
Nag-call it an age ka pa, pero yung word mo age. So it will not make any sense naman. Nag-variable ka pa. Nag-enter age, tapos age din. Okay?
Oh, na-realize
Mas
ko lang po.
appreciate ko
Pero
kung ginawa mo ulit, call it
mas
A, no?
pinahaba ko lang po, ganun.
Okay.
Ay, oo nga po. A na lang. Ganun.
Mas mahirap mag-type ng mas mahaba, kapag cellphone. Okay? Go ahead.
If A is equal, wait, where's equal? No. Is equal or
Nakita ko na doon kanina,
greater than, ito. Wait. Greater or less than 18, display age, okay, age is, the age is minor. And step 4, else na pala to. Else A is equal or greater than, Okay. Greater than... Hindi na pala greater than 18. Display the age. Sorry po ang ingay.
Legal.
Age
Okay
is
lang yan. That's what you call new
adult.
normal. Na
Adult.
si Aso ay gusto ring matuto.
Chloe. Yun po, end. Tama po ba?
Okay, sige. Can someone confirm if yung ginawa ni Dayan is tama or mali?
Sir, ano nga yung tanong niyo, sir?
Ay, sorry Dayan, i-display mo lang. Okay, sige, type mo na lang dito sa ano natin, sa message, sa group chat. Dito,
Sige po, wait po.
sa Meet, para at least nakuha. So, yung question is enter an age and display if it is a minor or legal age. Pero yung ginawa ni Dayan, una, is that hindi niya sinunod yung instruction, di ba?
Ano nga,
Instead
sir?
na legal
Enter.
age, nilagay niya adult. Okay lang yon. That's acceptable din naman. Okay? Pero, sige, nakatype yan dito. Anyone can say, tama ba yung ginawa ni Dayan? Yes or no? Sabi ko, ako na lang mag-share ng screen eh. Sige, ako na lang ulit para mas mabilis.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. Kasi in.
Wait lang, wait lang. Kalmahan lang natin. Okay, nakikita na screen ko. Okay, anyone? Sige, may mali lang. Kunyari 1.1 lang. Anyway, sabi natin step 1 pa rin yan. Nakikita yung screen ko, guys?
Yes po, sir.
Yes po.
O, sige. Ano yung mali?
Sir, yung step 3 po.
Step 3.
Ano yung step 3?
Yung dun po sa else.
Anong kailangan?
Di na po kailangan nung A is greater than 18 po.
Okay, sa instruction na yan, sa structure niya, hindi mo na kailangan to kasi iniisip mo na yung kabaliktaran agad.
Yes, sir.
Sir, dinisplay agad niya yung...
Okay. Tama? Nakuha ba? So parang yung konsepto, hindi ko pa sinasabi kung tama yung logic na ginawa ni ni Dayan ha. Pero tawag dito, yung structure ng pagkakaroon niya ng algorithm, kapag gumamit ka ng if tapos may else, hindi mo na kailangan lagyan pa ng isang condition or ng isang logic. Bakit? Kasi kabaliktaran yun yung iniisip mo. Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
Para pag sinabi mo na if si Juan ay hindi babae, display bongga, for example, or display lalaki, else display babae. Parang ganung konsepto lang. Nakuha? Or pwede mo rin naman gawin ganito. Yung una-una, kung arithmetic operation yan, lagi ka magsisimula sa less than bago ka mag-equal to. Kasi yan yung konsepto ginagamit din ng coding. Alright? Sige. Yung ibang concept, pwede mo yung gawin na if A is greater or less than or equal to 18, display the age minor. Pwede ka rin gumawa ng step 4. If A is greater than or equal to 18, display legal age or age is adult and then end. Pwede yun. Nakuha?
Yes,
Nakuha
sir.
ba guys? Nakuha yung instruction?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sige. That's algorithm. Pero yung tanong ko, tama ba yung ginawa niya na logic? Yes or no?
Hindi, sir.
Ano yung mali, Eman?
Determine muna, sir, kasi naka-display agad po.
Ito na. Determining mo, condition mo. Hindi ba sapat yan?
Parang may kulang. Sir, ano?
Dapat
Yes.
less than 18 lang. Hindi na equal.
Ano?
Kasi kapag 18 na ho, legal age na po yun.
Tama. Di ba? Tama yung logic. Hindi mo kailangan ng equal. Bakit? Kasi sa Pilipinas, ang legal age is 18. Nakuha?
Opo.
Nagets ba, guys?
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
Okay. Sige, lagyan natin pa ng lohika. Ganito kasimple. Curfew. Di ba sa curfew, hinahabol minor. Di ba mga minor, hinuhuli yung minor. Tapos, ang pinakawalan lang or yung pwede lang lumabas is the legal age or yung 18 years old pataas. Tama? Ngayon, kapag hinuli, kunyari 18 years old kayo at hinuli kayo, sinabi na kasama kayo at curfew kayo, yung term ng kanto, di ba? Curfew. Instead ng curfew, yung iba, oy, may curfew. Ganun tayo magsalita. Or ganun yung naririnig natin, right? But eventually, ang point is, there's a curfew and 18 years old is legal age. So kapag minor, kapag minor ka, technically, ang point is something na uhulihin ka. So kapag nahuli ka at 18 years old ka, sabihin mo sa kanila, Sir, kailangan nyo mag-aral ng algo. Bakit? Hindi nyo nagigets ang ordinansa, hindi nyo nagigets ang batas. Ang nakalagay doon sa batas natin is 18 years old below is sakop ng curfew. 18 years old below. Hindi naman sinabi sa ordinansa or mga nakapost na 18 years old and below. So technically, 18 years old is a legal age and accepted on curfew. Nakuha? Nagets ba yung concept o yung logic?
Yes,
Opo,
sir.
sir.
po.
Opo, sir.
Opo, sir.
So at the end of the day, napakasimple lang, di ba? Parang kung titingnan mo na each logic, each application, each step that we are doing in algorithm has something to do with our daily life. And if we can implement it in our daily life, technically, napakadali niya lang. Question. May tanong ba? Go ahead. Sorry. Hindi. Pag nasa programming na kayo or nagko-code na kayo, each item should always be in a variable. Okay? Kung gusto mong maintindihan, for example, dito sa screen natin, enter age and call it A. Okay? So, ang mangyayari niyan, dinideclare mo si age na A. Tapos si A yung gagamitin mo para maintindihan ng code mo na si A ay representing an age. It is not directly na kapag in-input mo, in-enter mo si age, mababasa agad yan ng logic or nababasa agad yan ng program or code mo. There's always what you call an age or a variables wherein each variable should always be declared. Yep. Okay? So parang ganito yan mga kuya, ate. Just in case nagko-code kayo. Kunwari, header. Kung anong header yan, di ba? Int A. Or pwedeng kung gusto mong int age. Ano yung int? Yung int is a data type defining ano yung input mo. Okay? Int is an integer, short for integer, wherein these are also the things na kailangan mo for this age. Okay? Nakuha? Tapos bago mo magamit ngayon na si age is less than or greater than or equal to 18 para mabasa yan ng programming language. Okay? Malinaw ba yun, guys? Okay, let's take a break for 15 minutes. And then, it's 3:04. Sige, balik tayo ng 3:20. Okay? Tapos, after 3:20, let's have an activity by group.
Sir, may tanong ako.
Sige.
Sir, pwede po ba isang example, sir?
Isang example for?
For sir? Logical, sir, algorithm. Sa sir? Example.
Okay, sige. Pwede naman.
Medyo nalilito kasi ako, sir.
Sige, wala namang masama. Okay, isa pa. Yo. Algorithmic language, no? Okay. Sa case ko na ano ba pinakamagandang term doon? Sa case ko na natutulog na, no? Or matagal na sa industriya, I could say myself as a full stack developer. When you say a full stack developer, any language na iba to sa iyo, kaya mong gamitin. You can go with C.
Java, tsaka C.
Hindi lahat. At hindi lahat talaga ng program is may na-compile. It depends on, nagkakataon lang na yung iba is merong mga parang public function or may mga function na or may library. Yun yung term lagi sa programming, no? Library. But always remember na don't make asa-asa on that one. And that's the reason kung bakit may algorithm ka. For you na even may library or even may function, you can create your own. Kasi sometimes the known function or the existing library is not that much in help. Especially, iba-iba yung ginagawa ng program mo. Okay? They can use as a reference but eventually, it will not make any sense kung gagamitin mo siya fully. That's my stand. And I believe you have also that subject right now. Okay? So, you have the introduction to Java, if I'm not mistaken. That's how it is. Wherein this algorithm can also be implemented on that. Lalagyan nyo lang ng mga computation, lalagyan nyo lang ng logic out of the structure. Or should I say, each programming language has its own syntax. Yung ginagamit natin kay algorithm is a general syntax. Kasi ito rin lang naman yung naiintindihan ng tao nagbabasa ng ginawa mong algorithm. Okay? Sige. Isa pang example. I'll stop my sharing. Okay. Sige. Ano ba magandang algorithm na mas madali para sa lahat? Aha. Okay. Sige. Create an algorithm that will enter a grade and display if it is passed or failed. Anyone? Enter a grade and determine if the grade or displayed if the grade is passed or failed.
Ako po, sir.
Sige, go ahead, Bayatan.
Pwede po mag-share screen na lang.
Sure.
Kita po ba, sir?
Yep, go ahead on your notepad. Go ahead, Eman.
Yes po, sir.
Don't use the word int. Hindi naman tayo gumagawa ng code.
Okay po, sir. Yan po, sir.
Oh, di ba? Napakasimple lang.
Okay, sir. Gets ko na, sir.
Or pwede mo lang, if grade is greater than or equal to 75, display pass. Kung ayaw mo ng else, pwede mo ulitin yan. If grade is less than 75, display failed.
Opo, sir.
Ito yung pinaka-shortcut.
Oh, sir. Tama, sir. Okay na, sir.
Alright, so let's be back at 3:25. I'll give you an activity and then you need to submit it by group. So you can discuss it with your group muna, or you can have a coffee break, or we could have a bio break for all of us to at least pahinga konti para mag-recharge ng utak at hindi overload. Let's go back or be back at 3:25. Okay? I'll put myself in mute. Balik tayo ng 3:25.